Hello and welcome to our section of the presentation on economic geography. Now, what exactly is economic geography? Economics is all about how we value things, and thus economic geography is the global distribution of the things we value, such as goods and services. Some subtopics we'll be covering in this presentation include agriculture, energy production, tourism and culture, as well as globalization and trade. How exactly do we measure the economy? And as we go through these slides, I want you to guess what each of the maps represent. GDP and GNI is the most common indicator of a country's economic status. However, it paints an incomplete picture, and we'll get to that in a bit. Gross domestic product measures the value of goods produced or consumed domestically, aka within the country's borders. The gross national income or product measures the value of all goods consumed within a country plus the income from abroad. So, this is important for things like remittances, as we talked about in the last presentation. The GDP map is the one on the top right here, and the GNI map is on the bottom right. So, now let's go over the problems with GDP and GNI and try and guess what these maps represent here. This first map is showing income inequality, and this is measured by the Gini coefficient, which is just the measure of income inequality, and it shows that the wealth isn't necessarily evenly distributed among every person in a country. And some countries, like the Scandinavian countries, have more equal wealth distribution than others, like those in Southern Africa. Another problem with GDP or GNI is a country's environmental impact. Often, countries with large economies like the USA, China, Japan, South Korea, and the European countries here have significant environmental impacts as they need to pollute in order to uh, have that significant industrial output. This map represents a country's shadow economy. Uh, so, in some countries, black market activities are very important to wealth generation. So, these wouldn't necessarily be included in the GDP measure. However, they're still important to the people of the country. This map shows the price of goods and services. So, this shows how things aren't necessarily so affordable in some countries, for example, the Nordics, and more affordable in other countries, like, for example, Russia.